I played computer all the way back from 1974 when I was making Jaws, and the first Pong game, the coin-operated Pong game for a quarter, was plugged into a wall on Martha's Vineyard. So I've been playing video games from the invention of video games, but I wanted to make a movie that didn't require people to have played video games or have any knowledge of video games to be able to really go on this ride, because this is not a movie about a game. This is a movie about a place called the Oasis. And it's a story about a digital world called the Oasis, created by a mad genius named James Halliday, who holds a fantastic contest when he knows he's about to die, to turn the rights of his entire world over to whoever finds a hidden Easter egg hidden somewhere in this amazing universe called the Oasis. And it doesn't require you to be a video game player to be able to side and bond with our characters in searching for this egg.
So it seemed to me, and the message came through at the end of the film, is there's also a warning in there somewhere about where we're at now, and a lot of people are expressing that right now, is that, you know, let's spend a bit more time in reality. As a parent, this is our concern, we see our children like this.
That's right.
That's a bit scary.
Well, today there is an Oasis. All of our kids hold the Oasis in their hands. Their devices can make them forget where they are because they spend hours without even being aware the time is running away from them while they are on their devices. Now, they can be learning good things on the devices. They can be making contributions to the world on the devices, but most of the time they're just Snapchatting and finding contacts with friends and trying to figure out what movie to go to, Ready Player One, on the devices. So let's not really scold the devices as long as they're being used to get people to go out to the movies. But by the same token, we do get lost in escapism. I mean, I got lost in television in the 1950s. My parents got lost listening to radio shows in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. Social media happened, now in this contemporary world. My kids got lost with their personal computer. So there's always something to distract us from our homework and from our responsibilities and from sometimes making eye contact with each other. So this movie is a little bit of a cautionary tale, but it's more fun than caution.
Do you think we can come back, though, from where our tech obsession that we have? Should we come back? Should we just dive into it?
It's impossible to come back. There's no way we're going to be able to come back from it. I mean, coming back from that is just about having somebody in your life that says, put the phone down and talk to me. I mean, if you got to have somebody you respect enough that will make you put down your device to have a conversation. And look, we've been stuck with all kinds of, let's call them portals, to escape through for 60, 65 years. That's not going to change. It's only going to become more revolutionary. It's going to become more involving. Virtual reality does put you in a world where everywhere you look, you're in that world. And we just have to learn how to figure out how to fix the problems the world needs us to fix in the real world right now, before we escape into a virtual world.
Do you like kind of the VR world that we're living in now, and the kind of cinematic experiences you can have? Everyone can have their own cinematic experience. I mean, is it something that you would like to do? Would you like to experience cinema in that way? Because things, when 3D came along, 3D glasses, everyone's saying, it's ridiculous. But things keep changing, don't they?
They keep changing and evolving, which is great. I love VR. I mean, I really do. It does put you in a world. It's not a medium for narrative storytelling, however, because the director can't get the people who are in the experience to pay enough attention. We're always roaming and looking around at everything available to be seen. So it's very hard to follow the directions, follow a story, follow actors in that space. I'm not sure VR will be competitive with the motion picture theater going experience. And also, you don't want to go to a movie with your first date and wind up putting something over your head that obfuscates her or his existence.
I just come back from the States, and there's rumblings over there about Netflix and places like that where they're putting on films there, and it's a challenge to cinema as we know it. Do you see it that way?
It is a challenge to cinema, the same way television in the early 1950s pulled people away from movie theaters and everybody stayed home because it was more fun to stay home and watch a comedy on television in the 1950s than it was to go out to see a movie. So Hollywood's used to that. We are accustomed to being highly competitive with television. The difference today is that a lot of studios would rather just make branded, tentpole, guaranteed box office hits from their inventory of branded, successful movies than take chances on smaller films. And those smaller films the studios used to make routinely are now going to Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix. And that's where, and by the way, the television is greater today than it's ever been in the history of television. There's better writing, better directing, better performances, better stories are being told. Television is really thriving with quality and art, but it is posed as a clear and present danger to filmgoers.
So you are concerned about,
I am.
Yeah.
But I'll still make the post for audiences, asking them please to go out to the movies to see the post and not make it directly for Netflix.
You don't see that as it's kind of can really damage cinema, though, do you? In a few years, if it continues.
Well, no, I'm just saying that fewer and fewer filmmakers are going to struggle to raise money, or in order to compete in Sundance and possibly get one of the specialty labels to release their films theatrically, publicly. And more of them are going to let the SVOD businesses finance their films, maybe with the promise of a slight 1 week, theatrical window to qualify them for awards as a movie. But in fact, once you commit to a television format, you're a TV movie. You certainly, if it's a good show, deserve an Emmy, but not an Oscar.
So they shouldn't be nominated for an Oscar.
I don't believe that films that are just are given token qualifications in a couple of theaters for less than a week should qualify for the Academy Award nomination.
Ready Player One, the 80s. You like the 80s. What is it about the 80s? Was that your golden decade?
No, it was a great decade for me. So much happened in my life in the 80s. In the 80s, I met my wife, Kate. In the 80s, my first child was born. In the 80s, I formed Amblin Entertainment. In the 80s, I made Raiders of the Lost Ark and E.T. I mean, the 80s was a boomtown decade for me, and it was a relatively quiet decade politically. We had a robust economy under Ronald Reagan. Things were pretty chill. Not everything was chill in the world or in the country, but overall, it is not a decade we think as the kind of stress we're all experiencing geopolitically today.
You obviously like filming in Britain. I kept spotting British actors doing American accents.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Susan. Oh, that's
Yeah.
What is it about Britain in particular that you're doing Indiana Jones here, aren't you?
I am next year. I love the cast. I love the actors. I love the deep bench of actors. I love the amazing crews. I love the craftspeople. I love the way they build sets here. I love the infrastructure with the studio system. I love shooting at Pinewood, at Leavesden. I used to shoot all my movies at L Street, there, in Borehamwood. I mean, I just think this is a film, television-centric country, and the talent here is profound.